Another book party?
Oh. Whoa, I didn't see you sitting in the dark over there. Yeah, no, actually, there's a fire. I just got the call. They said maybe it's arson. I got to interview the marshal and see what's...
Kylie, is he telling the truth?
I don't want to be put in the middle of this.
Thanks, Kylie.
Why is he wearing that bandit hat?
His ears were cold. He's not with us. Go back to bed.
If what I think is happening, it better not be.
What is going on, movie lovers, and welcome back to another episode of 5 on It. I am Francisco.
And I'm Sir Frazier.
On today's episode, we are going back to the Wes Anderson vault. Earlier, I'm not sure how long ago it was, but we did the Grand Budapest Hotel. Did that for a first-time watch with great amazement. That is definitely easily in my top 25, 30 films of all time, I suppose. that really it definitely surprised me because I'm not a big Wes Anderson fan, but today we decided to review Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah.
But before we dive into that, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, drop a comment below on some of your favorite Wes Anderson films. He definitely has a plethora, and honestly, like, after these two watches, I probably will go back to the well again, but I'm not really sure because he's very, very hit or miss. But Sir Frazier, tell the people about Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah, so as was mentioned, this is a Wes Anderson flick. It's also a screenplay that was written by Wes Anderson and Noah Baumbach. But one thing I'd read, just real quick, I read that I think it was in a Charlie Rose interview around this time this movie was released. He said that he had been working on this idea for 10 years. And in that same interview, I think he mentioned it took 2 years to make this film. Between, the puppets, which they used over, I think 500, is what I saw, 500 and some odd puppets they used of varying sizes to, especially for like some of the really beautiful landscape shots where you have the miniatures. But yeah, it took 2 years to make this movie. And man, I love this cast. It's very common that Wes Anderson has these really big ensemble casts, and this is no different. You've got George Clooney, Meryl Streep, Jason Schwartzman, Bill Murray, Willem Dafoe, and Owen Wilson, just to name a few. So you can see just right off the bat some pretty frequent hitters that Wes Anderson works with. And yeah, this movie is based off of Roald Dahl's Fantastic Mr. Fox story, children's story. And there's a couple things I want to say about this. One, Roald Dahl has some bangers in his bibliography, dude.
I didn't know this one kind of missed me, but when I saw his name, I was like, oh snap! I definitely remember reading like his books when I was just a young little kid.
Bro, James and the Giant Peach. I love that movie. The book was great too. That's another stop motion movie that I have always kind of dating back to childhood, like I've really liked. But he also did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, The Witches, Big Friendly Giant, and of course, Fantastic Mr. Fox. This is insane. That's impressive. Yeah. And I never read him as a kid. I was more of a Shel Silverstein kid. I read a lot of, as far as like,
damn, that's another one.
Yeah. Oh man, he's with The Giving Tree, Where the Sidewalk Ends.
We're unlocking memories right now. I kind of want to look at Shel Silverstein right now because like I remember the covers always being like kind of like
great drawings.
Crazy. Yeah, like those would always like catch my eye. But mentioned like I totally forgot about Matilda. Like you mentioned James and the Giant Peach, Matilda, Fantastic Mr. Fox. Damn, all of those movies too have been pretty bangers too, man. I love Matilda. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, I think it's pretty well beloved, I suppose. But if there are any Matilda haters out there, y'all need to go and rewatch that shit.
And I think, that's actually a good call out because I haven't seen that movie in decades, maybe. In fact, that was a movie. I know we're going to be reviewing Mortal Kombat soon. And that movie I felt like was always on TNT or TBS. And I felt like Matilda was often on TBS, was it? Or it was one of those stations.
It was one of those because I definitely remember watching that quite a bit, like just like turning it on, or like that ABC Family
with Danny DeVito.
Like oh my god! And like the scene with the kid with eating the chocolate cake and stuff.
Yeah,
even though that chocolate cake looked fire,
it did look good. All you need is some milk, some oat milk. But one of the things that I definitely picked up on Dahl, at least now having kind of gotten a sense of the scope of his writing, is his stories are dark, especially for children's content, and I kind of dig that. Going back to this movie has like some kind of like it does a really great balance of being a kids movie, but it also really pulls in the adults, especially those who grew up reading his work, Dahl's work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, it's like a very like adult-centered like plot line.
Mhm.
I mean, you got like you could just say like this guy, this character, the protagonist, gets married and he makes a promise to his wife that he's never going
leave the life.
He does leave the life of crime. But then after like 12 years and having a kid, the crime starts calling his name, so he wants to plot one last heist, and the heist turns into 3 different heists against his enemies. So it's like, it's a very like, when you just call like the plot like that, you're just like,
it's a heist movie. It really is.
Exactly, it's a heist movie. So it's but it's fun too, like with all the visuals.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna say like my con just right away, because it's only like one con, honestly. Like I pretty much like, I'm not gonna say I love the movie, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I'm just not a big stop motion guy. Like the medium they chose to do the story, it's just not quite my favorite. And so like watching it, like honestly, like I would love to watch maybe like a half hour, 45-minute like behind the scenes. Making of this movie
for sure.
Especially when you're, like I said, when you're getting some of the landscape shots, or even when the boss dude, the main guy who's always on the walkie-talkie calling in things.
PD?
Yeah.
Franklin Bean?
Yeah. Dude, like when he's in the office and he just starts like tearing shit up.
They got everything?
Dude,
they took everything?
I'm just kind of thinking, I'm just like, God, I wonder like how long it took him to like do some of this. Or even like towards the beginning when you see like some of like the scene transitions of you're seeing where the foxes are going and everything like that. My mind just keeps going like behind the scenes. Because of like the stop motion, it's just so like difficult and like I said, time consuming. I'm very interested to watch just behind the scenes, but that is just my negative. I'm not a huge fan. Like kind of think of like if you would have just did like maybe some sort of traditional animation, maybe you could have even gotten like some of like the heartfelt scenes across a little more, because you're able just to show a little bit more animation. They are not animated, but show more emotion. I mean, they are doing, for the most part, like really well, like in their lane of what they're doing. Like I said, it's not like a huge con, but it's just not my favorite type. And I feel like you could possibly maybe like leave some stuff on the table if you decided to choose a different route to go.
Yeah, I agree with you in that stop motion isn't something that I gravitate to. I would watch, like Robot Chicken. Back in the day, that was kind of the closest. I mean, I did like James and the Giant Peach as a kid, and sometimes I would like, Nightmare Before Christmas, stuff like that. But it's not a go-to for me to the extent that I really go for animation at this point. But this movie, though, just the level of detail, the animation. The color palette of this movie feels very much like a fall, a lot of bright oranges. This definitely feels like a fall movie. But I think visually this is such a beautiful movie to watch. I like the way that the story starts off, where we have this fox who is going through this midlife crisis, and he's past the midpoint of his life, and he doesn't want to end up like his father. He doesn't want to be poor. He's overly ambitious given the fact that he's a fox. And he's a wild animal. Yeah, he's a wild animal. And he's also trying to recapture some of the glory days. The whole situation, right, where he's talking to his wife, Meryl Streep. She does great. Like I said, I think the dynamic between those two is really fun.
I didn't even catch that was even Meryl Streep.
I
didn't look at the cast. I just put it on. This is a first time watch for me. But like obviously caught that it was George Clooney, and even when Owen Wilson and Bill Murray popped in, I was like, oh shit.
You cussing with me? That's a highlight.
Dude.
You pointing cussing at me? Don't you point and cuss at me.
You sent me the little like the TikTok or the short whatever, and like some of the behind the scenes.
Yeah, they weren't in the studio for filming most of this
like on the
outdoors,
road
on site,
and like doing like certain things and like actually acting it out and stuff like that. So it's like that's just a very interesting way to see like said how they're making this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think one of my favorite characters is Kylie. He's the possum where he starts zoning out.
Yeah.
He's like,
Can you give me
a signal? Anything is going through, and he's just like.
But dude,
Where's his
it's so funny when they get the call back too when Mr. Fox has to do that.
Yeah.
I forget exactly now.
He's like out of breath from running or something. It's so good.
And he gives him the signal.
Yeah.
That shit, it was hilarious. Yeah, he was a funny character.
I mean, and I think that when we were introduced to all three of the humans, Bogus is Bogus, right? Bogus, Bunce, and Beans. And this is the descriptions of all of them. And when he's robbing them, I love the actor Michael Gambon, who played Franklin Bean. His voice, he nailed this role.
Yeah.
He is so funny, very convincing. When he throws the tantrum in the office after he found out they stole everything, that's a great scene. After Petey's horrible song, he's like, "What's that you're singing, Petey? You wrote a bad song, Petey." And he flips the cigarette at him.
Dude, I love how like when they keep trying to get the foxes out and they just keep raising the stakes and raising the
my
stakes
God.
and raising it it's like
It's like
bro,
Pride at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you said when they finally like figure out like they just try to like get these foxes out so they can kill them, and then once they figure out that they've been robbed for everything, it's such an hilarious scene.
Yeah, I think one of the strong points of this movie to me is we get a really strong sense of Ash. We don't get enough of Mrs. Fox. I can't remember her name. We don't really get a lot of like.
Was it Felicity?
Felicity, yeah. I think that there are some really good moments with her. Also, I did just the callback at the beginning and the end where after he thinks he can outsmart everyone, and when he pulls the trap out, and she tells him, "I'm pregnant," he's like gritting his teeth, like, "Oh, that's great news."
You're like, oh,
like he's like, "Yo, you're practically glowing." Like that scene, that's just the visuals of her glowing, and then that was a highlight for me. And then at the very end, right, when she tells him she's pregnant again, and they're both glowing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he actually is in a better place. He's content, it seems, at this point. Whereas earlier in the movie, he's harkening back like to these glory days. He's looking backward and not at what they have and what he has now. Mm-hmm. And his selfishness jeopardizes his whole community.
Yeah, he's not thankful
literally
for what he has and and his need to just go and get more. Just like cause a whole bunch of like people like, and then, like that leads to a highlight scene too. Is when like they're digging and everything when they're trying to get away from the three dudes, and they bump into the badger and then the beavers too. Dude, just like they're back and forth, and then what is like the beaver starts fucking with Ash and like starts shoving shit in his face, but then Christopherson comes over and just starts beating the shit out of him. Dude, I love that scene. That was like I shot that down. That's a highlight moment for me.
I think the whole Ash's storyline really where he is trying to impress his father and trying to emulate his father, and when they're playing that wild ass game, it's like Divide by 9 with Christopherson, the bat game that they're playing.
I'm about to say Whack-A-Bat.
Whack-A-Bat, there we go.
Yeah.
Where he's subbed out for Christopherson, and his coach, played by Owen Wilson, is basically like, you don't want to try to compare yourself to your father. Don't put that pressure on yourself.
Don't you see? It's like, don't you see some of the natural abilities that I had that my father had? Like, you want to be. Your father was the best Whack-A-Bat player in the history of
this school.
Dude, and then when Christopherson goes up and he talks about like how he's never played the game.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Whoa, my goodness! This is his first time swinging Whack-A-Bat." He's like, "Oh, aren't you guys related?" He's like, "Not by blood." He's like, "Oh, right."
He really is your father's nephew. Well, even the scene, right, where Ash and Christopherson are diving into the pool, and Ash just is so clumsy, but Christopherson, like a damn pro.
Yeah.
And even his dad is impressed by it. He's like, "Oh my God, he's a natural."
Good. Then also,
And of course,
like,
that's why he brings him in to star Robin.
yeah. It was like when Ash shows up and just like, why do you follow him? Who told you about this? Like, we're at the book club right now. Dude,
Go back inside. You're gonna get me in trouble.
And then, but like Christopherson is also like trying to steal little Ash's little lab partner too. So that's why Ash got a little heat with him
It's
too.
like, you're disloyal. Yeah, the dialogue with him and that whole scene and seeing them kind of repair their relationship as the movie goes on, because they definitely started off on the wrong foot.
Yeah.
Ash and Christopherson.
But I was gonna say like that kind of leads to like just an overall pro of the movie is just the dialogue and like the delivery, the performances is like really sharp and really witty. It's not as funny as like the Grand Budapest.
Oh yeah, I think that's
but it's still a relatively like funny movie. It definitely like had me like his. I guess I mean I'm not sure if all of his does Wes Anderson typically do like this type of comedy like always.
What do you mean? What kind of comedy? Like ensemble cast?
Would you call like a Fantastic Mr. Fox like just a comedy based movie?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I think it does fall under comedy.
Does fall under comedy? Well, let's say is that like that always how Wes Anderson makes like his movies, like this type of like a little bit loose comedy like that.
Yeah, it can be a little whimsical, you know.
Yeah, funny like that.
Yeah,
I was like, maybe his like
he has a very unique style. I mean, I think that what you're getting at his dialogue,
like,
his
maybe
voice.
His style is like something I kind of jive with a little bit more than I give myself credit for.
His movies are very like beautifully shot. I mean, that's another thing that I think helps with the rewatchability, especially during this phase. Because I mean, we talked about the colors that he uses in Grand Budapest in this movie, but also just like the symmetry of the way that he centers the actors in scenes.
Yeah.
You know, there's the one I think they're in the sewers at some point, and Mr. Fox walks out onto like this little pathway, and there's water streaming behind him. The visuals of that were good. Even the scene, right? It was also funny when Felicity's like, "Can I talk to you on the other side of this mineral deposit?" Like, I'm gonna lose my temper now. Dude, like the visuals of that even look great, and the close-ups that we have, and even like the cut when she cuts him, like it just looked really great.
Well, I was gonna say like all the details, like visually, it's just like obviously if you show like a kid this, he's just gonna be he or she is just gonna be enthralled. I think just visually and just all the details that you see in making this. But I just keep thinking like, how in the hell did they make this? I gotta see some behind the scenes. But another scene like with like you talk about all the details and stuff is like even when they start having like the little revolt and they start throwing all like the little like the fireballs pretty much.
Oh
like,
yeah,
the city starts catching fire and everything. Like once you get to that part, it's just I'm just thinking like, damn, this is just wonderful to watch.
Yeah, I mean, another highlight for me is the original heist scenes, right? Where he, I love even the lead up, right? Where him and Kylie, he's doing the recording, and he's basically like, "No, keep quiet, you know. I'm recording this. That means stop rocking or whatever it was.
That means stop rocking."
Yeah, and he's interrupting with questions. He's like, "What is it? I don't need to explain myself to you. Just listen." And it's like those scenes were great with the beagles and the blueberries, and you know that was a fun scene. And then of course you know the scene with when he's at Bean's place stealing the cider, and Willem Dafoe is the rat. That's a whole nother scene where he starts talking about Felicity.
Dude, we're like, man, how's your wife? She was the town tart.
Is that true? Kylie's.
Dude, that William Dafoe had no idea that he was doing the voice at all either. So whatever he was doing, I have to go back and actually like listen to it now, like see if I can catch it. But that's a huge highlight. Dude, both moments, like when he shows up at the cider factory, or when he shows up at the end, and like him and Mr. Fox have like a little moment.
Yeah,
bro, that also lends to some of the cinematography too. So because you think that Mr. Fox sacrificed himself and gave himself up, but then he ends up showing up to fight the rat. But then when he shows up, like the way they shoot him and like they do this the close up and they have like the kind of like a lightning shot, it's like very reminiscent of like the Wolfman.
Huh.
And so when I saw that, I was just like, they're just paying homage to the Wolfman right now.
Okay.
So
Yeah. There's a thought I was having about this movie, and now it's gone. Yeah. Go ahead.
Man, well,
Back to you.
honestly, like I was just kind of going over my notes right now, and I don't know if I actually had any other like little like standout highlights that I really wanted to talk about. Honestly,
Yeah, I mean,
obviously the score too. I did mention. Well, we haven't mentioned the score. Like every time when like a heist scene like is like about to get underway, I love those little drums and everything that are like being like.
Oh, yeah.
I love like the lead into like just like the new heist that's like about to be planned.
For sure. And, just the vendetta between Bean and the fox, after he shoots his tail off and he's wearing it as the tie, just, really trying to emasculate Mr. Fox,
And Ash does have his redemption like towards the end when he finally gets when like he's doing his little acrobats and he jumps over and he ends up releasing the rabbit hound or the rabbit beagle. So like he gets his little redemption shot at that for his little whack-a-bat.
Yeah, that was definitely his moment to shine, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm down to pivot to scores, man. I'll kick us off this one. For me, this is a 4. I really dig this movie. It's very rewatchable. It's got a fun cast, fun story. One of the things that I also appreciate about this movie is that just the level of detail and the puppets, the quality of all of that, right? I think when you're filming something like this in a very bright way, the way that this movie is shot, it's hard. It can be hard to camouflage your flaws, as opposed to like a darker movie like stop motion wise, like Nightmare Before Christmas, right? That takes place. It's pretty dark, right? Comparatively dark.
Yeah.
So I think that for them to film it in this way and for it to, where it's bright and you can see a lot of the detail, and for it to still just look great. And this is a movie that dropped in 2009, and it still looks amazing. I highly recommend it. It's one of probably my third favorite of Wes Anderson that I've seen.
I didn't realize this movie was so old.
Yeah, 2009.
Damn, this holds up. Like I thought,
very
this was
good.
way more recent than that. Honestly.
Well,
I thought this was like 2021 or something like that.
This is his second one. This is the first stop motion movie that he did, but he's done 2. Isle of Dogs was the other one, and I like this. This is to me far better than Isle of Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really it was just a fun rewatch, and highly recommend folks who haven't seen this or if you haven't rewatched it in a while, definitely check it out.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm definitely going to agree with you on the score. I give it a 4 as well. I mean, all I say is like, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the stop motion. That's not my favorite like medium on film or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, it was very enjoyable. Like visually, like it's just so appealing that it just keeps you at least entertained visually on like how they're putting this all together. But the story's well put together. The voices are fantastic. All the performances, the dialogue is nice and sharp. Like the humor is very, very good. It makes me definitely want to keep checking out more of Wes Anderson's work. Since Grand Budapest was fantastic Mr. Fox didn't disappoint. I don't know what do you think should be the next stop on the Wes Anderson train for me?
I would say Royal Tenenbaums for me is probably my second favorite movie of his, behind Grand Budapest.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that movie. Great cast, all around. Both Wilson brothers are in it. Ben Stiller, Gene Hackman, Angelica Houston, Danny Glover. Yeah, it's a great cast, great movie.
I definitely remember watching it because
it's funny as hell.
I remember just seeing Ben Stiller obviously on the cover with
the track jacket,
with his sons in the tracksuits. Yeah,
tracksuits,
so that definitely caught my attention. But I definitely don't remember really much other than that. So I might have to just throw that on the rewatch for myself. But this movie, I mean, if you're a Wes Anderson fan, but even if you're not, you definitely should check this movie. I think wasn't it nominated for A few awards too.
It's nominated. It received Academy Award nominations for Best Animated Feature. Sorry, and Best Original Score. Both lost to Up.
Yeah,
I mean that's some stiff competition.
That's some
Up,
very stiff competition.
Up is a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna lose, you're gonna lose to Up, and Up is arguably.
I can't be mad at you for losing. You know what I'm saying?
People, I mean, some people say Up is the best, like some best Pixar movie.
Yeah,
and
there are people who
some heavy
believe that.
competition. So it's like if you're gonna lose to a movie, losing to Up, it's not a bad way to go. But all in all, Fantastic Mr. Fox was fantastic, and I give it a 4, man.
All right. Well, that wraps up our review for this week. And stay tuned. We'll catch y'all next time.
Oh, hold up.
What's up?
Did you ever go see that Exit 8?
Oh no, I didn't get a chance to see that, man. I was hyped to it, but I didn't get a chance, and I don't think it's playing anymore.
I heard somebody kind of like hyping it up on like the podcast, and I was like, wait a minute, wasn't that movie that Sir Fraser was talking about? So I was like, man, and I think it was actually playing too at the theater by my house. So I was kind of like thinking about going to go check it out at some point.
It's playing at Laurelhurst now.
Oh really?
Yeah, that could be fun. Also, shout out to OMSI. They are currently running the OMSI Sci-Fi Movie Festival. It's going on until May. So if you're interested and you're in the area, definitely check it out.
Did you just watch the thing?
Yeah, I caught the thing a couple weeks ago. Or no, last week. Yeah, classic. You know, what more can you say? But yeah. So stay tuned. We'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.